Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? So, time and time again, every time we talk about something, I hear the same thing over and over again. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Please excuse that noise that you hear. It sounds like a scrape. My dog has on the cone of shame. She got spayed. So she has on the cone of shame and she has to wear it for 2 weeks. Anyway, if you have opened any kind of mainstream media outlet webpage or have been on any kind of social media, okay, in the last 6 months or so, you've seen the same refrain. Experts predict empty shelves, warn of crop failures, forecast meat rationing. Okay. They present it as if it were a weather report. Unavoidable, almost random, but what if these shortages are not actually being predicted? What if they're being engineered? Today, we're going to follow the paper trail. Policy documents, export bans, land use regulations, corporate land grabs, and show you exactly who benefits when your grocery aisles run dry. Okay, so stick around because, especially until the end, okay, because that's where the juice really starts to get squeezed. So March 2022, Russia, Ukraine, what happens? Grain prices spike. Within weeks, 23 countries holding 1/5 of global calorie exports slap export restrictions on wheat, maize, fertilizer. India, the world's second largest wheat producer, right, bans all private exports to ensure domestic availability. Argentina, Kazakhstan, Egypt, same playbook. Okay. Now, governments have this sovereign right to feed their own people first. Fair? Right. But look at who cheered on these bans the loudest, okay? It's the same NGOs and UN agencies that spent a decade lecturing farmers about overproduction. The World Food Program called the bans a necessary evil. Necessary for whom, might I ask, right? So let's stay in the Western Hemisphere here. The Netherlands, second largest agricultural exporter on earth, announces a 30% cut in livestock to meet EU nitrogen rules. Translation, buy out or bankrupt 3,000 farms by 2030. Okay. Farmers block the highways with tractors. Media calls them climate deniers. But the same week, the Dutch government signs a deal to lease 10,000 hectares of that former farmland to who? Microsoft for data centers. Pattern repeat. Okay. Sri Lanka 2021 organic only mandate. Fertilizer imports banned. Rice yields 50%. Or minus 50%, I should say, IMF bailout. Canada, 2030 fertilizer emissions cap. Prairie farmers face 30% import cuts. Okay? Excuse me. I feel so bad. Okay. No. And then we have the U.S. Conservation Reserve Program, which pays farmers not to plant on 27 million acres, area the size of Virginia. Okay, so now every policy is sold as what? Saving the planet. Every outcome is the same. Less food, higher prices, more dependency. Okay, why do you think we're seeing what we're seeing with the EBT? Okay, dependency, dependency, dependency. While small farms get regulated out of existence, the biggest land grab in history is accelerating. Since 2020, institutional investors, pension funds, private equity, and yes, Billy Boy himself, who is now the largest private farmland owner in America, have purchased 1 out of every 8 acres. Okay, that have changed hands. So what do they grow? Often nothing. Not a seed is planted. These are assets that are in play. Land held off the market, leased back to mega operators at premium rates, or converted to carbon credit forests. Meanwhile, 4 firms control 85% of U.S. grain trading. Yes, 85%. So seed plus chem giant Corteva, Corteva, which is patents drought-resistant traits, then licenses them only to operators who sign data sharing agreements. Your local co-op can't access the same tech. This isn't capitalism, okay? This is feudalism with better spreadsheets. That's all this is. So why go to all of this trouble? Because scarcity is the ultimate leverage. There's that word again, leverage. Just like the Democrats, they see the working poor and the ones that are on government assistance, they see them as leverage. Okay, when food is abundant, citizens are independent. They hate that. So when shelves are half empty, they'll accept digital IDs to fairly distribute aid, carbon track diets, eat the bugs and like it. Yes. So, and then you have UBI, which is tied to what? Compliance. Okay. So look at pilot programs that are already running right now. All right. UK Food Data Trust tracks every grocery scan. India's Aadhaar, Aadhaar, linked ration cards, biometric lockout, if you miss a arm ticket. It's a beautiful thing, yeah. So what is the one thing that is known, the one saying? Henry Kissinger, 1974, he who controls the food controls the people. Don't ever forget that. Okay, so, but here's some good news. Okay, you're not powerless. Now, there is a 90-day playbook, okay, that you can follow. We follow. Thousands of others are copying this right now. Inventory and rotate your preps, okay? 30-day buffer of what you actually eat. Canned meats, okay? Rice, peanut butter, not 50 pounds of lentils, because you know you're not going to touch that until the shit really hits the fan. Right on. Grow 10%. Okay. 1 4x8 raised bed yields 200 pounds of vegetables every single year. Start with potatoes and greens. Okay. Buy direct one time. Find one regenerative farmer within 100 miles. Okay. Split a side of beef with your neighbors. Lock in today's price for 18 months. I did this with my mechanic. And we did a thing of beef. We did pork. And I think between us and my mechanic, and we had gotten one of the guys that works with him, and I think we only put in like $200 a piece. And we did this like 3 years ago. And I was having to store meats over at my mechanic's house. We didn't have the room. So, you know, I mean, I'm just saying. And we were good for, oh my gosh. Because at the time it was me, my husband, my son, his wife. And at the time, they only had 2 kids. We were good for a year and a half, something like that. Yeah. So the next thing is to skill up. Learn pressure canning, water bath canning. Learn how to dehydrate food. Learn how to preserve food, just in general. Learn how to make bread. It's very easy. Get yourself a bread maker. They're cheap. They really are. You can find a nice one on Amazon for like $50. Okay. Or learn how to make bread by hand. It's so easy. I mean, if you've got arthritis, yeah, it can be a little, harsh on the hands, but man, when I tell you, when you get that oven going and that's what you smell in your house, is that fresh baked bread going? Oh my gosh, it is amazing. Okay. Knowledge does not ever expire. Knowledge is power. Okay. And vote with every dollar. Every time you skip the middleman, you defund the system by trying to ration you. Okay. They plan these shortages. I don't care what anybody says. We can plan resilience. The next time a headline screams, "Empty shelves ahead," you'll know it's not a prediction. It's an invitation that they planned to have control. Okay? Stock up responsibly. Okay, please? I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless and God bless. Ciao.